Hey everybody, this is Will Bass with Bass on Bass Fishing. I'm just going to bring to you today a little quick, I guess, rundown of what all worked and what didn't work at Pickwick this past weekend. This was tournament number 4 with the West Tennessee Puddle jumpers. We were fishing out of the state line ramp, so right there around Counce, Tennessee, and ended up, it was a pretty day. It started out kind of slow going. We ended up having a 1-hour fog delay that sort of backed everything up. As far as, I think the spot we went to first would have really been good probably an hour before leading up to when we got there. The first place I went was a nice little pocket that had a ditch or two running around into the water around it. And a lot of these places that I started out, you could actually still hear water from the rains the previous day still kind of running into them. The water clarity wasn't bad, and there was a decent amount of activity, and my hope was that with temperatures where they were, we might see a shad spawn. That pretty much, I'm pretty sure, was happening. I did see some bait breaking the surface here and there. But more importantly, one of the first things that clued me into what I caught my first 2 bass on was just several really aggressive explosions on the surface. So I had a Zero Spook tied on. It was actually a Super Spook Junior in bone color, and I'll post some stuff a little bit later, maybe some pictures or a quick snippet of just a few of the baits, and give you an idea of what I was throwing visually, outside of just trying to explain it. But this bone colored bait, I've got a lot of confidence in. I've caught a lot of fish on it, and I just enjoy throwing it. I like the walk the dog action that it's got, and I tend to work it pretty well, and I get bit on it pretty often. So usually, I think within a couple of casts of starting to fish that bait, we were right around this little pocket. There was some emergent grass that was kind of a little bit flooded. There was a pea gravel point that kind of came out, so I mean, everything about it looked good. And made a few casts with the spook up there, and had a really nice, I say really nice, for me it was probably my nicest smallmouth to date, but it was probably about 2.5 pound smallmouth. Just blew up on that spook, which was a lot of fun, and a heck of a way to start the day. And maybe 3 or 4 casts after that, I caught a largemouth about the same size in that same pocket, just a little further back. And shortly thereafter, the fog that we had experienced that was continuing to burn off had pretty much burnt off almost completely at this point, at least back in the creek we were in. And the sun was coming up a little better, and it seemed like anything interested in topwater completely died off, because I didn't get a bite throwing that spook for probably another half hour. So we moved out, started fishing the same area with some soft plastics, throwing brush hogs on Carolina rigs, and that got some bites, but it really wasn't producing anything of any quality or anything we could weigh in. So we switched spots a few times. I probably should have stayed where we were, and that tends to be the story I tell more often than I need to, if I haven't learned it already. I tend to, because I'm only there for one day and I'm not really able to pre-fish, I've got ideas in my head, and I end up chasing those ideas more than I do the fish. So that's something to learn. Just stay in one spot. If you feel good about it, stay there and just try different baits. But it ended up, it wasn't until 3:30, since we had a 4 o'clock weigh-in, we got an extra hour to fish, that I actually hooked our 3rd keeper, and it was probably another 2 pounds. We had 686 is what we weighed in with 3 fish, and that 3rd fish actually died on me between the time I caught it, which was around 3:15, 3:25, and the time we weighed in at 4 o'clock. So I'm not sure what happened. He put him in the live well, aerator was running pretty well, so I mean, I don't know, just freak deal, I guess. So that was a half-pound deduction, but we didn't lose any ground. We maintained 15th place in the Angler of the Year points, and we actually finished 13th in weight behind everybody else, and a total of 39 boats for the tournament, if I'm correct. So pretty decent day, but soft plastics, brush hog, 5XD, black back with chartreuse body. That was the third fish, and the spook actually caught our first 2 keepers. The brush hog, you know, like I said, I got bites on it and caught some little fish, but they were just real scattered. So I figured it was going to be tough. I'd heard a lot about how the lake was fishing as far as being scattered, since the fish were sort of in all different stages of the spawn, which is kind of what I was expecting anyways. That was exactly the case. So, I mean, you know, you were kind of, you know, hunting and pecking. But a decent day. Like I said, we didn't lose any ground, so that's a positive to pull from it. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm not fishing in the next tournament. That's at Reelfoot. I will be taking my girls down to Disney for our vacation. So my brother's going to fill in for me and keep those points rolling. And then my next tournament will actually be out at Birdsong up on the Tennessee River. So really excited about that one. I just like getting on the Tennessee River. It's just an opportunity to learn, and there's so many different ways you can fish. You know, and you can always have a fallback, especially if you've got something that you feel like you're really good at, or it's just your comfort zone. You know, play to your strengths when you have to. So I'll leave you guys on that. I appreciate you tuning in, and if, you know, like I say, if you have any questions or comments, just want to chat about fishing, hit me up. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that. Send me a text. You know, I don't care. If I've got time, I'll shoot the breeze with you. So until next time, I'll tune in with you guys and let you see some of the baits that I was using, and give you a better idea of what we were throwing. But I'll be back before you know it. I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Bye bye.